Sanjeev. Thanks so much for joining the series with Soho. Great to see you, mate.
Thank you, Trent. Thanks for having me.
Hey, talk to me about investment properties and more particular positive cash flow investment properties. Are they like a really good starting point for a first-time investor? And if they are, like, why is that such a good starting point?
100% right. Positive cash flow properties is the way to go, and especially for when anyone is looking to start investing, right? But when all investors start investing, um, they think that they're buying a property which is an asset, but they're buying actually a liability because it's negative gear. It's costing them money every single day, and the biggest impact is it creates the bad mindset because there is no motivation of keep investing because you see, oh, it's costing me money, right? But on the other way, if you see it's making you more money, then you want to do more, right? And that's of course it comes with a huge opportunity cost.
Just touching on deposit, like you're a buyer's agent, you obviously advise people on the, types of properties to buy. But before they even get to that step of buying, like how much money should somebody save up to, start investing in property? Like what's the target? Is it 20 grand, 50 grand, 60 grand? Do you just advise that 20% of the purchase price is the benchmark? So do you have some advice on that one?
Yeah, no, sure, man. It's a very interesting question because I get a lot of time and see it's like property is a number game. So say anyone can start, I would say, with just 50,000, even little less than that. Because say with 50,000, when I say you can buy around a 320K mark a house actually, which is a good investment property, and all you need is 10% deposit. It's okay to pay the LMI, the loan mortgage insurance, and of course you'll have the stamp duty. So if you see 10% LMI, stamp duty, say roughly $10,000, legal cost, your building invest, still you will have like say a couple of 2 or 3 thousand leftovers just in case you want to do any quick fixes. So I think 50,000 is a great start if someone is doing themselves. I think, and they can buy really decent properties. Now a lot of people ask, oh, where do you find this kind of properties? But I think for 300K, you can really buy in good locations too.
What are some of the strategies that you use, or what are the value add strategies that you use in trying to, build your property portfolio? Was it a renovation? Was it a subdivision? Like, where did you, kind of start that journey?
If you keep buying positive cash flow, the bank is happy to give you more loan, right? Because they see that slowly your incomes are increasing through the property, assuming that you're not having more liabilities or any sort of thing, right? But the biggest challenge the investor face is where do they get the deposit for the next property. So that's where if you can buy a property with a renovation potential, adding a granny flat, or say you can find a house where it's a, for example, it's a 3-bedroom house but it has got 2 living area, and you can take one of the living area and convert into room. So suddenly what happens is like you might be spending $5,000 into the conversion, but it jumps to the next level of the property price, which is comparable of the 4-bedroom. And so this is a strategy. And if someone can do a subdivision, much better. But that requires a bit of experience and skill. So I think these are the key strategies which I have implemented, and it helps any investors if they can incorporate into their portfolio. Yeah.
And just tell me a little bit more about your own portfolio. What was your first purchase, then your second purchase? Did they differ much? Was it just did you do a renovation on the first one or two, or was it just a straight out buy and you just kind of left it? How did you get your, your foot in the door?
So my first one is like buy and hold it just to get the experience. Of course, I bought my own house also, so it was just to get the ball rolling and understand the whole process. But next, after that, what happened is I did the subdivision of land and then build a house with granny. So this like applying multiple strategies. So I'm like doing subdivision, and then when I'm building with the house with the granny so that I have better cash flow. And then like after that, I took the equity and bought another property where I will bought an ugly house for a much cheaper price, renovate that house. At the same time, the house has got a big land, so I'm like able to subdivide and building another house in the back. So it's my strategy is always a stack up strategy, because my goal was to build a good portfolio in a shorter period of time. And and it works, right? It works, and at the same time it creates a good positive cash flow property, so that you can have the income, and then you can enjoy the fruits of the portfolio.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess just on subdivisions, are they a little bit more tricky because they take more time, or you've got to go through the council, or they cost more money to try and get those approvals, or what's the process there in terms of buying the property, but then having a potential like subdivision? How does that, from buying to, I guess, building, how does that kind of process kind of work?
So with the subdivision, what happens is, say, it's a team activity. Like, you really need to talk to the council, definitely, and you need to talk to the private town planners of that particular suburb, and maybe a land surveyor, because finally you're going to do a land subdivision, right? So these two people are very crucial, and even like someone is starting out, say, you start talking to them so that you start get a feel of what's happening in the area and what is working also. Because if you see on the, like, from the council perspective, they'll say, oh, it's permissible, but then to give you example, like say there's a suburb A, and if you're looking, say you're little experienced, you don't have to be very experienced, but say you're little experienced, you're looking at 10 properties in that suburb for a subdivision potential. Out of 10, 7 might look it has a potential, but it will not work. Another 2 properties, it will look like it works, but it might not be feasible, because say there is a big slope or there is a problem, so it looks like subdivision, you might be able to do it, you might get the approval also, but eventually the numbers stack up, right? And there will be one property which will really make sense from all perspective, but then you have to act very fast because there are other investors also looking, so the window is smaller, and that's where having a good relationship with the real estate agent also helps in this process.
And just touching on, I guess, a buyer's agent, if people aren't so familiar with a buyer's agent, obviously you guys represent the buyers and the real estate agent represents the seller. But to me, a lot of people in Australia, a lot of buyers anyway, they want to go out and they want to do it on their own, and I guess not so much engage with a buyer's agent, or maybe they don't understand what a buyer's agent actually does. So can you just give me a couple of things, like what does a buyer's agent do? Like, I guess, what are the benefits of using somebody like yourself to help me, Mr. Buyer, buy a property?
Sure. So the first thing is like understanding the difference between the real estate agent and a buyer's agent, right? So the real estate agent is the one who goes and sell the property for the vendor, and they are legally obliged to get the maximum dollar for that property, and they want it to be sold, right, to a buyer. So if you're going and talking to a buyer, to a real estate agent, right, they want that property to be sold at the maximum price. So they're not there to help you or guide you, I think, as when you're looking to buy, right? Because it's up to you. So that's where the buyer agents come into the picture, where they will guide you. Like, say you want to buy a property, you have got a budget of 400K, and that's where they will guide you based on your goals. They will find a strategy, because you might say, oh, I would like to do a subdivision, but are you ready for that? Maybe not, maybe yes. So again, they will have a strategy, and then they guide you through the process, and they do all the work, like which suburb is going to suit you, or area or location. They will do all the due diligence, negotiation for you from the real estate agents, and guide you through the whole process. So if you're like a first home buyer or a new investor starting, that's where it really helps to learn the whole process from someone very experienced.
And let's say I'm a buyer and I'm interested in Investor Dream. How do I get in contact with you? So some contact details.
So yeah, I think I'm pretty much on all the social media platforms like Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. They can find through my name, or they can go to my website, www.investorsdream.com.au, or they can email me at Sanjeev, SANJEEV, at investorsdream.com.au.
Awesome. Sanjeev, thanks so much for joining the series. Great to see you again.
Thank you so much, Trent.
Thanks for watching. If you want to check out more, visit sohoapp.com, or if you're looking at adding your properties into Soho and connecting your CRM, check out the links in the description below.